Hey, we've got breaking news on Dolphins today, and that is why you subscribe, because anytime some news hits the airwaves, we've got you covered on all angles. So join our growing community on Dolphins Today. Subscribe to the channel, and let's get into some really positive breaking news on this edition of Dolphins Today. All right, folks, it is happening. Make it rain, everybody. The announcement we've all been waiting for, right? We've been talking about it all week. We talked about it during the bye week. Heck, we even talked about it when he was first injured. But De'Von Achane, the rookie phenom for the Miami Dolphins that suffered that knee injury against the New York Giants and was placed on IR, is officially coming back to join the active 53-man roster, according to sources from Bleacher Report. Now, this was first reported by Jordan Schultz on Twitter, who said, sources to Bleacher Report, Dolphins running back De'Von Achane with that knee injury will return Week 11 versus the Raiders, barring any kind of setback. Let's become a critical AFC showdown. So we've got you all ready for the matchup and what it will look like and how the Dolphins can exploit the Raiders on defense. And that was all under the impression of wondering and kind of hoping that De'Von Achane will be back. But now, according to Jordan Schultz of Bleacher Report, that is official, and it is happening. I feel like that Jonah Hill meme right now. It's happening, right? And what have we been telling you all week? De'Von Achane's impact when paired with Raheem Mostert, the two of them make one of the best, if not the best, backfield in the National Football League. And take a look at the stats. They jump off the page because got to give Raheem Mostert, he is a lot of credit. He has been the guy as well, over 600 yards rushing. Look at all those touchdowns between the two of them. And, of course, De'Von Achane's numbers are like video game numbers. You're basically like playing Madden when you've got De'Von Achane on your team. 12.1 yards per carry. Incredible. And, man, is it exciting to think of him in the aqua and orange again and at Hard Rock Stadium, where he's had so much success so far early in this season, early in his rookie year. So, if you're like me, you're feeling really excited for Sunday, but I got to ask you right off the bat, rate your excitement level for me. Don't hold back. Let me know in the comments, how excited are you for the return of De'Von Achane? Scale it for me, 1 through 10. And like I said, I'll be honest with you, I am at a 10. Because this is one of the most electric players in the National Football League. And you know what? I'll add one more for you. Fantasy owners everywhere are rejoicing because De'Von Achane is a human highlight reel, and we know he will provide a huge boost to the NFL's top offense already that could use that boost because, like we've talked about all week, the Miami Dolphins, the last 2 out of the last 3 games have had a season low in scoring output. So De'Von Achane coming back, it's a huge impact for the Miami Dolphins. Now, coming up, we're going to talk a little bit more about some roster news that happened with the Dolphins in order to make room for De'Von Achane and what that looks like. But first, I got to tell you about Prize Picks, proud presenting sponsor of today's episode and a huge supporter of Dolphins Today. For that, we appreciate them. And Prize Picks is awesome, folks. I've been telling you about it for a week, but it is far and away the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And what's daily fantasy sports? Well, it's real simple. You simply pick more or less on a player's projected stat line. So by now, your fantasy team probably sucks. So let's go ahead and play daily fantasy sports instead. Really easy and exciting way to do so. And Prize Picks is also the largest independently owned platform to play daily fantasy sports on, so you know it's the best. But I do it every Sunday for Dolphins games, and this week is no exception. Take a look at what I'm rolling with this week. You know that life's too short not to pick more, so I'm picking more for Tua Tagovailoa's projected passing total at 269.5. And Tyreek Hill, the cheetah, I mean, he's on pace to break Kelvin Johnson's receiving record. So you know I'm picking more there as well. 91.5. It's a tough and tall task, but I think Tyreek Hill is up to the challenge. So I'm picking more as well. And that's how it works Prize Picks, super fun and exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. What's also really neat is when you pick 2 or more on the Prize Picks, you can do a power play, which means you got to get all 3 correct, or you can do a flex and get 2 out of 3. The payouts are obviously a little bit different, but that is how it works. So go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, or we've got a $100 deposit match waiting for you. Once again, that's prizepicks.com/CLNS for that $100 deposit match. Use that promo code CLNS. And you know we always make it easy on you. We'll put that link in the description in the comments of this video as well. That's prizepicks.com/CLNS, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Now, the impact of De'Von Achane's return, I don't think you can understate exactly how important he is to this Dolphins offense and how impactful he will be when at full strength. Now, obviously, it was a huge bummer to see him go on IR, but with that said, the bye week provided another week for Achane to be healthy and to get back to full strength. We know he made the trip with the Dolphins to Germany, and he was trending in that direction of being able to play on Sunday against the Raiders in Week 11 of the National Football League. Now, speaking of the Raiders, we talked about them in our preview, and the Raiders season, it's been a roller coaster. There's been some highs, some lows. Obviously, they fired Josh McDaniels, and now under Antonio Pierce, the interim head coach, they are 2-0 and playing a decent brand of football. But let's take the microscope in a little bit closer and look at that defense. Now, this defense has some playmakers on it. There's no doubt about that. Max Crosby, one of the best edge rushers in the National Football League. But against the run, the Raiders' defense has struggled a little bit. They've only given up 20.5 points per game. That's 13th in the NFL. But the 135.6 yards per game, let's say that again, over 135 yards per game they're giving up on the ground. So they are a little bit susceptible to the running game. And what perfect timing when you bring a guy like De'Von Achane back for the Miami Dolphins. So I expect both he and Raheem Mostert to have a big day on Sunday against this Raiders team. But let's take it a step further. Do you think De'Von Achane is going to get into the end zone? You got to let me know. Will De'Von Achane score a touchdown on Sunday now that we know he's playing? Real simple. Type Y for yes or N for no in the comments. Now, with De'Von Achane officially being activated off the 53-man roster, you know the Dolphins had to make a move. We've talked about this leading up to this point, that with the Dolphins having as many injuries as they have and having guys coming off of IR, some difficult decisions would have to be made by the front office in order to waive certain players to make room for the additions. And from Barry Jackson, we know that instead of the Dolphins, or because the Dolphins need to make room for De'Von Achane, they went ahead and cut Robbie Chosen to create that spot for De'Von Achane on the 53-man roster. And this was another one that you saw the writing on the wall a little bit because Robbie Chosen has been a healthy scratch a couple of games, and with a group like the Dolphins where they have a lot of depth at the wide receiver position, it just didn't make a lot of sense for Miami to be carrying 7 wide receivers. So with that said, the depth chart now is as follows with Tyreek Hill, of course, your undisputed wide receiver number 1, Jalen Waddle right there as well, Braxton Berrios, who has been a little bit limited with a hamstring injury, is still your slot guy. And we told you earlier this week, River Craycraft officially off of IR as well. So the odd man out being Robbie Chosen. So you take a look at his his stats from this year, and you see why he was the guy to go. Just hasn't really played a lot, but you got to give him credit. The one reception went for 68 yards and a touchdown in that 70-20 win over the Denver Broncos. So when he had an opportunity, he made the most of it. But we know if you've watched this Miami Dolphins team week in and week out that he was buried on the depth chart and not the guy. But that said, we got to show our guy Robbie Chosen some love. Go ahead and do it now. Type 3 in the comments. He will be missed, but unfortunately, that's the way the cookie crumbles, as they say. And Robbie Chosen is no longer a Miami Dolphin, and De'Von Achane is officially activated off of IR. So, I want to remind you that in preparation for Sunday's game against the Raiders, We're getting everything ready for an epic watch party, so make sure you join us for that. It's going to be a blast. Come early, come loud, get rowdy, and have a good time with us as we watch the Dolphins go for victory number 7 on the season. And, with everything going on in the AFC East, there's an opportunity there for the Dolphins to strengthen and increase their lead on the teams that are chasing them. So that is why you subscribe. We're going to have a great time. And of course, as always, when breaking news hits, we've got you covered from every angle. Daily Dolphins content, live shows like we had the other day, and of course, our live watch parties. That's why you tune in to Dolphins Today. Make sure you join us on Sunday for our live watch party, Dolphins and Raiders. It's going to be a good time. Shout out producer Sam on the ones and twos for today's video. Thanks for tuning into this edition of Dolphins Today, and we'll see you next time on the channel for Dolphins Today.